Hey guys, so today I'm going to talk about some what I would call intermediate Pinterest strategies for really taking your content to the next level, making sure that it is like the absolute best that you can make it, whatever that is, as you are on this journey, so that you're getting your content in front of your readers as they are kind of scrolling the wall on Pinterest. And so we're going to talk about keyword research. We're going to talk about pinning consistently, how to make sure that you're pinning vertical pins, and how there's grace. Okay, if you have been like square mode because maybe your favorite social platform is Instagram, or maybe your Facebook sizes or your Twitter sizes or whatever, you know what, there are ways to adapt those going forward so you have vertical pins. And I'm going to show you how I go back because I'm doing lots of cleanup. When I started earlier on, I didn't even have images. So like some of my stuff from a year ago, literally a year ago, a Mother's Day post from last year, no images in it at all that were able to share, and how that's fun. Like you can very quickly add things on Pinterest and not have to worry about it on your site, all of the coding. So we're going to cover that. We're going to talk about collaboration. We're going to talk about how to think like your avatar and not like a blogger, okay? And how that's going to help our content spread further. And then we're going to talk about scheduling, so that you know how you write this amazing post and you put it out there and nothing. There are seasons for certain things, not just holiday seasons, okay, but trends that hit and move. And so like every 3 or 4 months, I'm repinning older things so that, this may be their season, and we'll get to that. Okay, so those are the things specifically we're going to cover, although I feel like there was something else and now I can't remember, but we'll get to it. It'll come up, or maybe I'll just drop it in Facebook later on. Okay, so I'm going to start. Okay, I'm going to start by talking about your avatar. Okay, who are you writing for? Do you know who he or she is? Okay, like I even have given mine a name, and you're going to hear me like harping on this, but if we are just writing whatever the Spirit leads us, and that's fine, let the Spirit lead you, but who are you writing it for? Okay, it's not just for every Christian on the planet. If it is, it's not going to get a lot of attention. Okay, so you need to be thinking about, what is it that God's called you to write? Who is it that it is going to minister to? Define her, you know what I mean? Like down to a T. How old is she about? What ethnicity is she, if that's specific to what you're writing? What are her interests? When she's coming to your site, what is it that she needs? What is it that you're providing for her? Okay, now if you've been blogging for a while and you have Google Analytics, they will help you know. You might not be writing to who you think you're writing to. I write very specifically for women, and it is inevitable. Like a third of my readers are men. I don't know why. I don't write to them. I don't gear it toward them. But now I'm starting to think about that I do need to address that occasionally. So know who it is. Okay, so my avatar is Esther. That's her name. Okay, now she is anywhere from early 30s to late 40s. She is married with children, pursuing Christ, very actively pursuing Christ, not just in name only. She is looking for help with a struggling marriage. She is looking for help with children who are homeschooled, who have special needs, who are just strong-willed and difficult. She is also looking for real practical help to grow her faith. Okay, this is who I write to, and I think with her in mind. When we are thinking about when we share our content, how we share our content, we need to get into her head. Okay, and I'm just going to use her as an example. And I'm going to open a pack of crackers.
Hi, Miss Tiffany. Miss Tiffany.
This is my youngest.
Hi, Miss Tiffany.
Wow. The person on the other side is Miss Kirsten. You're seeing her. Okay, is that good? Okay, try not to get them in the bed, Daddy. I'll have a good. Okay, so when I'm sharing my content on Pinterest specifically, I'm thinking with her in mind. She is not on Pinterest to be social with me. She's not going to talk to me. So Miss Erica says, hi, Amber. She is there to search. She might even just be there because she is bored and she is scrolling through her Pinterest wall. Okay, she wants things to pop into her Pinterest feed and be there. She just wants it there. If it's not there, unless she is in a specific season of need, she's not going to go searching for it. So we want to be in their Pinterest feed, in their smart feed. We want that. Okay, so in the beginning session, I talked about having a business account and having rich pins, having relevant boards. Okay, I'm going to assume that if you are here, you've already done those things. You're already thinking about keywords. You're already thinking about SEO. We talk about SEO for Google, but Pinterest is absolutely a search engine. Okay, so you need to be thinking of when you're writing your blog post and you're thinking about a title, you need to be thinking about what question are they searching on Google? What question are they searching on Pinterest? What are the keywords within what I'm writing that my avatar needs help with, that she is searching for? Okay, and so like, you know, the Holy Spirit has inspired me this month to write about fasting. Okay, so I start with that as the premise of what I'm doing, and then I'm going to do a little keyword research. Not that it's going to influence what I'm writing, it's going to influence what I title what I write. It's going to influence some of the headings within what I write. And then when I pin it on Pinterest, okay, it's going to influence the description in my image, the alt text in my image, because those are the things going to pull into Pinterest. All right. So I'm going to share my screen with you and show you how to do some of that. Okay. So I'm just going to go with what we're talking about. All right. So I am writing about fasting. All right, now in the search bar, if my avatar, if Esther is coming to Pinterest and she has felt a call to fast for whatever reason, she's going to just start searching in the search bar, fasting. And we are also by nature busy, so busy, and we're used to convenience. And so Pinterest is super awesome about telling us what the most popular searches are on Pinterest. Okay, so if your avatar is coming to Pinterest, for the most part, these are the things they're looking for when they type in the word fasting. Fasting for weight loss, well, you know what? That's not relevant to what I'm writing. Fasting about diet, also not relevant to what I'm writing. Fasting and praying, absolutely. Let's click on that. Now, if it's a popular search, and it is, right? Fasting, oh, it really is crazy popular. It is going to give you some more words, some more ideas of what your avatar, what is Esther searching for? Types of fasting, fasting guides, how to fast, scheduling a fast, the Holy Spirit, Catholic. That's funny. I didn't realize that. Totally forgotten that one popped in there. Christian, she's looking for fasting tips, fasting plans, fasting ideas. Now, you know what? This can help me if I'm doing a series, so I know, maybe I need to continue it and talk about, different ways or ideas and all of this in it. But for the most part, what I'm going to do is have a notebook in front of me, and I'm going to be jotting down some of these keywords, and we're going to use long tail keywords here. Okay, so I'm going to say within my description, tips for fasting and praying, comma, Christian fasting and praying ideas, scriptures about fasting and prayer. Do you know what I'm saying? Pinterest will let you use up to 20 hashtags, and you want to use hashtags. At least right now, that is a best practice on Pinterest, and they use it for new content. Okay, so as you have created something new, if you have given it some hashtags with your keywords and your long tail keywords, okay, So like, for example, a keyword would be fasting and prayer. A long tail keyword, okay, could be scriptures about Christian fasting and prayer, ideas about fasting and prayer, tips to help you with fasting and prayer. Okay, those would be long tail keywords, phrases that your avatar, phrases that my Esther is going to be asking Pinterest, and Pinterest is going to give her a list here. Okay, and that's great. So we're going to use those in our description. Okay, and I said I was writing, but I'm not going to give you, well, okay, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Okay, keyword research. Do your research. Literally, so I tend to batch, right? So what that means, when I go to a site, I don't like to read 2,000 words. I usually have the attention span of a 2-year-old, and I have kids all around, and so I try to keep my content kind of short, so 500 to 1,000 words top. But if you've known me for any amount of time, you know that I don't say things shortly, and so that means that if, as I was writing, it ended up being 2,000 words, guess what? I'm going to break that thing apart, and I'm going to have 3 posts from it. I'm just going to have it as a series. Okay, so I will do keyword search one day. I will find the keywords that are most relevant to what I'm writing about and kind of jot them down. And then when I'm uploading images, I'm going to have that in my description. I'm going to add my keywords. When I'm writing the post, in my headings and subheadings, I'm going to use those keywords. That way people are finding on Google through the text. People are finding on Pinterest through the image and the alt text. Okay. So keyword research. So we're going to have our keywords. We're going to research them. We're going to put them in our descriptions. We are going to focus on vertical pins. Okay, so let's look at these pins as we're kind of let's look through the feed on fasting. Why don't we? Okay, now they tell us that vertical long pins are what grab people's attention. Okay, and the best practices are not to use the little squares because they kind of get gobbled up and hidden through all the vertical images. Okay, so a ratio of 2:3. Okay, so if they're saying, I think right now they're saying 600 across by 900 long. But in that wheelhouse, that ratio, like 700 by 1100, some of the super long ones, they've been promising the super long ones would get cut off for over a year, and I haven't seen it happen. And so, just kind of use your best judgment there, how you want to work things. Okay, so we want them to be vertical because as we're scrolling through, like the ones that catch my eye, honest to goodness, they are the longer ones. The shorter ones, they kind of get passed over. Also, you want some text on your image. So in Pinterest, all right, this is not where they're coming to learn it all. This is where they're coming to find what they want to learn, okay? Now, if it's just a picture, so let's come down here. So I see dude holding the Bible. You know what? I don't really know what that's about. I have to stop what I'm doing and read the description to have any idea what this is about. Whereas if I'm looking over here, even still on the smaller one, I see 7 steps for fasting. Cool, I know what that's about very quickly. Okay, so you're thinking not like a blogger, you're thinking about your avatar. She is going to come and she is going to just be scrolling through her feed. Even after she types in what she's searching for, it's going to be the image that's the easiest to understand, that looks like it fits her need, that she's actually going to click through. Okay, oh, look, here's mine from last week. So, I don't know, does that ever give you goosebumps, like when you're searching something and you pop up in the feed? I don't know. Okay, moving on. Okay, so you want it to be an image. You want them to get an idea from the image of what you're talking about, or you want it to catch their attention in some way. Okay, and then you want to be able to very quickly figure out if it fits what you're searching for. Okay, if it has a ton of text, okay, so let's look over here. This one with a ton of very small printed text. Let's be very honest. Okay, this is just a place to be very honest. For the most part, people are not going to stop and read that. Okay, They may even just pass by it because it looks like a lot of work. Make it easy for them, okay? Maybe, so for me, honest to goodness, I just put the title of my blog post on it, whatever it is, and I will like pop, oh, look, here's another one. Oh, yay. So keyword search really does work because the 2 that I've written have just showed up in this feed. So look at this one. Okay, let's just pull it up bigger. All right, so God causes people to fast. I've like pulled out the keyword in a different color so it stands out. I don't know. This kind of looked like a yoga dude. I thought he looked like he was very intent on something. But, you know, regardless, it doesn't matter what it is. You know what I mean? And if it's maybe a recognizable figure, like I look at this, you know, I immediately recognize her. This is going to be about praying. Cool. But you know what? It also tells me it's going to be about praying. So I know if that fits what I'm searching for, if I'm getting inside my avatar's mind. That's what we want to do, okay? Okay, so the next piece is that you need to be posting consistently. Not posting, that's a different talk. You need to be pinning consistently, okay? So whatever you pin, you want to pin consistently. Pinterest talks about influencers. They look at not always so much how much you're pinning, but how often you're pinning. So let's say you write once a week. So maybe you have one vertical image you're going to pin every week. That's cool. So you're going to pin once, at least 5. Okay, they suggest pinning at least 5 pins every day. And that's for right this second. They might change that tomorrow. Who knows? You know, in the world of blogging, the only thing we know is consistent is that everything changes. Okay, so at least 5. And if you don't have 5 pins to pin every day, make sure that you're collaborating somewhere. Okay, so we are doing a Pinterest challenge once a month, but in several Facebook groups that are conservative Christian women, they have a Pinterest thread every week. They have, some places will have it every day, but I haven't found Christian ones that have it every day that are consistent. I don't know, you may correct me, there may be some that you know that do, but I will, if I'm not in a challenge and I don't have anything to pin, I will stalk my best favorite people. Do you know what I mean? Like there are people who write that I absolutely love, like Lee at Like Minded Musings. If I don't have anything else to pin, I will go to her Pinterest board and just pin 5 of hers. Or, you know what I mean? So who are those people? So let's make sure you're pinning consistently every day. Now, I don't actually go in live and do that. I do that through Tailwind. I use the free version of Tailwind. And I've done a tutorial about that in the past. So you can just scroll through in the Facebook group, or if you're finding me on YouTube, you can just look at Tailwind and see how I schedule things there. And then I go in every day to Tailwind, and it takes all of 10 seconds to click pin on the pins that I want. So I'm pinning consistently. So we're doing keyword search. We are consistently pinning. We're pinning at least 1 vertical pin for every blog post on your site. Okay, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about, you know, grace. All right, definitely grace. We are not wanting to feel like, you know, well, I've been blogging for 3 years and I don't have a vertical image for every pin. I'm just starting to add vertical images. That's cool. Don't stress. Don't stress. Start where you are today. Just start adding a vertical image to every post, and so you can pin it. And then if you have time later on, because as it begins to become a habit, it doesn't take as long as it did in the beginning, okay? Okay, but then after it becomes a habit, and maybe you have 30 minutes one day you didn't expect, okay, and you're scheduling time with yourself to blog, right, so you can blog consistently. Maybe that'll be a different talk. But let's talk about how to add a vertical pin without having to go back to your post, okay? So I spend, I don't know, about 30 minutes now because I'm trying to clean up from the past. There's a lot of traffic coming to my site, and they are going to a lot of places, and sometimes when I look back at older posts I wrote a year ago, there's no SEO, there's no image, there are no images. Like, it's just like, huh. I mean, I feel great. I've learned a lot of stuff, but like, what I want to do is stop everything and go back to every post and fix every single thing, but I can't do that. I have little people and I have a life, and that's not it. So 30 minutes a week, I set aside time to go back through older posts. Okay, and this is what I'm doing. In the beginning, I didn't know how to create images at all. And then I took a workshop about how to use Canva. Okay. And if that is like, that's you and you need help with Canva, we can do another video about that. All right. But so I'm social on Facebook. So my feature image to every post is a Facebook image. That way I can just very easily grab that image and share it on Facebook. It's no extra hassle. If you're not social on Facebook, make it a different size image, whatever the image is. You just need one. Now, so Canva is the first thing that I ever started doing paid. It's like $12 or $13 a month, and they have this amazing feature. Okay, so this is my Canva account, and this is a post that I'm redoing. Adding in SEO, adding in subheadings, adding in backlinking. Like, I wasn't doing anything a year ago except writing, which is what I love to do. I so wish blogging was just writing. I would kill at that. But so I'm going back through. I've already gotten some SEO things in there. I've already gotten some subheadings. I've already put in backlinks. Oh my goodness. So now I'm adding images in it. And I said 30 minutes a week. That's it. So, you know what I mean? Like, I did some of those other things last week. This week, it's time to add images. So this is the image I created for it. This is going to be the feature image. And here, I'm going to download it. And I guess I should have opened it. No, I won't open it. Here, I'll come back and do that in a minute. Okay, it's going to download, and then this is why I love Canva for work. First of all, it saves it, so I don't have to think about my colors or my sizes. Like, it's already there. Super awesome. But then over here, this resize thing, I can tell it what size image I want. I want a Pinterest graphic. This is that 200 or 2:3 ratio. It already has decided what the best size is, and they try to stay on top of that, so I'm going to trust their expertise. And then this abracadabra resize. Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it, love it, love it. It saves me so much time. So this is now my image, and I can adjust it. Let's see, you're big enough that you should just be the whole size. Awesome. Okay. All right. So then I can move my text around here. I can make my text bigger. So on Pinterest, we saw the images that had super small text. We don't want that. Okay. I want my image on Pinterest to be branded. I write my URL at the bottom of every single image. That way they know they have found me if they're, a raving fan, which is awesome. And if they're not, they know you can't steal this image as easily because I've branded it. Not that they don't still steal the images. They sure do. But it's more obvious. And so anyway, that's my little soapbox about that. All right, so I'm going to fool with the size of the text. I don't know that I like the way this just laid itself out there. I want the A to be in the middle. I feel like it's not centered at all. Okay, so Canva gives you like these cool lines, so you see if your text is centered. It also lets you space it differently. You can make it wider or smaller. And with it all spread out, I don't know if I want it. So let's see, a blessing. I get rid of that. Can blessing come up on the same line? Maybe. There we go. Blessing. My story. Then maybe it makes more sense for it to be that color. Sorry, I thought I had already imagined it in my head, and then it's not. So can spread it out a little more. So, all right. So we're gonna go with that. Just super simple. I'm going to change the title of it here so I know it's my pin image when I see it in my files. All right, so I've got an image. I've got a vertical image. It just took a few minutes. I'm going to download it, and when it's done downloading, I'm going to go to Pinterest and just upload it there. I don't have to go back to my website and upload it into the HTML there unless I really want to. Let's see, let's remember the URL to it because I do need the URL. And open it up. It's not quite done with all of the SEO pieces. But you see, it doesn't have an image. At the time, it didn't have subheadings or headings. Anyway, so I've been working on adding images into it. So these are the images I used to do. This is what I could figure out, and that was fine for where it was, but that's not going to help me on Pinterest. All right, so I am just going to grab the URL. I'm going to go over here. All right, in Pinterest, I'm going to just click on this plus button and upload an image. I'm going to tell it the URL it's going to. I'm going to find the image. Now I named it pin it image. I can't spell. You all should just know, in my humility, I can't spell, so I didn't write it correctly. But Pinterest isn't going to see that. So it's there. I'm going to go into my keywords, and you know what? I haven't done keyword research, so why don't we do that real quick? Mother's Day. Mother's Day. All right. So it's not about gifts or crafts. So let's see what else we come up with. Mother's Day quotes, Mother's Day printables, decorations. All of these are things that people are searching about Mother's Day. Mother's Day sayings, that might work. Mother's Day activities, presents, images, needs, baskets. Okay, obviously you can read. I'll quit reading to you. Projects. So I'm not seeing a lot there, except I am going to tell them it's about Mother's Day. I don't see a lot of keywords that really fit what I would say. Let's see, about blessing. All right. So Mother's Day blessing is searchable, but there aren't as many, okay? So it's not searched by as many. So I want to make sure that I'm putting Mother's Day. So most of the time when I'm doing this, I'm going to have 2 Pinterest screens open so that I can be writing a description and looking at my keywords. Now this is mostly for me because I cannot spell. All right, so just keeping it real with you. All right, let's just have them open. I'm going to just copy this. All right, I'm going to tell them this is, what am I going to tell them? I'm not a fan of Mother's Day. This is a blessing to all the spiritual mothers in my life. All right, so I'm going to give it some hashtags because the hashtags are going to help Pinterest see new content and put it in people's feeds as they are searching for these specific things. So Mother's Day blessing. Oh, we want to put Mother's Day. Mother's Day. And then we come back over here and see what came down here. Mother's Day blessing quotes. Mother's Day blessings heart. Blessing quotes. Heart. I have an S in the blessings. All right, we're going to put that in there. And that really is all that worked there, isn't it? That's fine. So then the other keyword that people might be searching for that would bring them to this would be a spiritual mother. Mothers. Oh, look at that. They even have them. Of course they do, because it's a thing. Spiritual Mother's Day gift, spiritual mother's quotes. And I'm going to make sure to grab this way, make sure I don't misspell it. Okay. add it. So you can add up to 20, but you don't have to use 20. However many makes sense for you to do it. And let's see. Mother's Day. Mother quotes. Mother's Day. And let's just search that and see how often it's searched for. Curious. Ooh, a lot. Look at that. I love it when a keyword pulls up a lot of results. It means that there are a lot of avatars out there genuinely searching for this thing. Okay. You already searched it. Thank you. Okay, quotes. You are a spiritual mother. Anything else in there that we want to use? Wisdom words. I don't know. We'll go with that. Okay. This is where I'm going to leave it, and I'm going to say done. Where do I want to pin it? I want to pin it to my blog board, and I'm done. I can see it now and see that it's there. It's directed people back to my site without having to go into my site and add all the images, and that's how you go back and fix old posts without dealing with all of the HTML if you don't want to. Okay, so we talked about keyword search, we talked about consistency, vertical pins, thinking like your avatar, not like a blogger, scheduling. Okay, so let's talk about scheduling just a little bit more before we wrap up. Scheduling is, for me, it's helpful in lots and lots of ways. So I use Tailwind, which is super awesome because it lets me pull the pins into a different place where I can just click a button and be done. Okay, so let's go into Tailwind, and I'm just going to show you what I'm talking about. Now, I've got a video in the group already about how to use Tailwind, how to set it up. It's really easy. Okay, now I tend to schedule about 50 of my own pins every day. And I set it up for late at night. That way, I usually do my blogging in the morning. That way I don't forget and miss it. Every day I come in and pin 50 pins. But I don't want to have to remember which 50 I've already pinned, which 50 I need to pin, and I have a vertical pin at this point for over 100 posts. And so I also keep them in rotation so that if they didn't really hit home for somebody this particular season, every 3 or 4 months, I cycle back through and it might hit somebody later. That way it's not like write a post. Every week we're writing new content. And how do they find the old content? Like, what happens to that old content? It was amazing. You need to make sure they can find it. So cycle them back through. Okay, however often makes sense for you. My focus has been on the Mother's Day one. I wanted to have it up and ready last week because it takes Pinterest a little while to kind of start to see, hey, this is good and let's put it out there. But anyway, 30 minutes is not a lot of time, and that's all I really allow for it because I have a whole other life. Okay, so we're going to cycle through our stuff. We're going to schedule it. When I schedule it in, super easy to schedule. So you just have to, in Chrome, you just have to download the Tailwind extension, and then when you are on Pinterest, or really when you're anywhere that has an image, you will see this little, it's supposed to look like tail feathers caught in the wind. Tailwind, so funny. Okay, you can just click it and it will pull it into your drafts. You could schedule it now or save it for later. So if I were going to schedule it now, I would just need to tell it what board. So let's say my wife's board. Okay. I could also add it to a tribe, which is pretty fun. That is a form of collaboration where other people see your pins and will pin them. And so that is that. All right. I can add it to my queue. And it pops in over there. Okay, so I do this. I go through my best of board, and I do this every 4 months. I will exhaust my pins and go back and pin. And so then what happens every day in the morning, it's just part of my routine. I come in and I click pin now. And it just pinned it to the board I've said. Here's the board, here's the description, and it's pinned. just that quick. It just takes me a few seconds, and that's my Pinterest time for that morning. So then I can spend my time creating content or connecting with my readers. And Pinterest drives like 95% of my traffic. So I love that it does that, and I can do it conveniently and quickly and still get back to my life, which I love. I love, living my life with my little people. So now I'm all like clicking buttons. Okay, so that is scheduling. It keeps me sane. It helps me know that I've pinned my pins to all of my boards, all of my group boards. I don't have to imagine that or think about that. I can just tell Tailwind, these are all the boards, and then go back every day and pin it. We talked about collaboration to help you pin consistently, right? So if you write one post a week and you have one pin, you want to make sure you're pinning at least 5. Now those 5 could be old posts. Do you know what I'm saying? They absolutely could be if you go in Tailwind and schedule it. And this, by the way, is the free version. I do not pay for Tailwind. So I do this for free. And then if 5 is it, so make sure that that one gets in the mix, and then that you're pinning 5 more a day. Okay, so consistently. And that is everything on my list to talk about. It's everything that you all have asked to this point. So I'm going to say to you, if you have a question, ask. If I know the answer, I'll answer it. If I don't, someone else in the group does. We have some amazing, amazing bloggers, several who are so much further along in the journey. So definitely ask, and let's just grow together. Do you know what I mean? It's so much more fun to grow together, but there's so much room. Do you know what I mean? We can be helping each other and blessing each other without worrying about rivalry or competition. That's not how we need to roll. Let's just, support each other. And I love that. That's Cheryl's heart too. Just saying that for anybody extra who finds us on YouTube. All right, so if you have any other questions, ask them. I'm going to make sure that the video comes up in a replay, so you get all the content. You can go back through it whenever you're ready. And I think that's it, unless you have any questions. All right, well, I will catch you all later, and have a blessed day.